Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robert Johnson, and I just wanted to take a second out of our presentation to just go ahead and thank everybody for showing up today. The families for showing up, we appreciate it. Career Services for hosting, we appreciate that. And then, of course, the instructors for teaching us all these skills that we're able to put these projects together. We really appreciate that. So thank you guys. As I said, my name is Robert Johnson, and we are the Useful and Invasive Plants team. So the Useful and Invasive Plants application is a dynamic application that's really just a tool for nature enthusiasts, as well as anybody with an inquisitive mind geared toward nature. It has images and descriptions to help with identification of all 68 invasive species on the Ohio Department of Agriculture's invasive species list, as well as many other native Ohioan plants. We really started this project with just a general concern for our ecosystem and a Zoom meeting really discussing what we wanted the finalized product to look like, discussing edge cases and every feature that we wanted to have in the finished product. We transitioned that conversation into our GitHub project board. And we just have like our main tabs to point out here would be our backlog, in progress, review, and then of course done. We really use those to just paint a picture of what we wanted the website to look like. And then as we were working on the website with the priorities that we had placed in those stories, we maintained a steady workflow throughout. We also used Git as our source control and added branch protections and approval methods just to ensure that we only had good code going into the main production branch. Along with like those agile Scrum backbone decisions that we made, the other real framework decision we made for our front end was deciding to use React. We used the React framework to really help our application shine through with great response times, as well as just all the features that you get from it being a single page application. And to tell you some more about those features is my teammate, Saman Farah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert. So our team basically used the widely popular VS Code IDE by Microsoft to create the application's code. We also employed Canva, a graphic design platform, to create the logo that you see on the homepage and the shortcut icon on the top tab bar. Speaking about the homepage, it literally mirrors our application simplicity and educational nature. Our app acts as a comprehensive guide in assisting users in identifying and understanding various plant species in Ohio. This nurtures a greater appreciation for the botanical world while supporting the preservation of native ecosystems. A highlight of the homepage is the background videos. We achieved this by extending a class-based React component, as the life cycles method suited our needs best for looping the 4 videos that you guys will see throughout the presentation. Although functional components with hooks are more common, such as useState and useEffect, these lifecycle methods were ideal in this case. Towards the page's bottom of the homepage, you'll find details about each of the developers, and each person's section includes HTML hyperlinks to their LinkedIn, professional pages, and emails for easy contact. For structure and aesthetics, CSS played a significant role in which our 600 lines of code could be a testament to that. It's responsible for styling throughout the application, including the hover effect on the creator's images. CSS also helped us achieve a centered layout, making our app user-friendly. Now I'll hand the floor over to Abdulkareem Farah, who will introduce our search feature.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. So users would come to this page to search and learn about plants in Ohio. There's a search bar for plants, and as the search is empty, all plants will be shown by default. You can search for a specific plant by typing the common name of that plant. Right below the search bar, there are filters for the types of ways you can search from. There's common name, plant color, native, and invasive. For the native and invasive checkboxes, all you have to do is click them and the plants will automatically populate. Once you have your plant, for each plant, there will be 2 images of that plant. And when you hover the images, they will become bigger to improve visibility. We use CSS to make this possible. On the left side of the plant images, there are basic info on that plant. And on the right side of the images, we created our custom description using ChatGPT. And at the end of each description, we have a link that will take you to Wikipedia of that plant on a separate tab shown as Learn More. There's a limit of 10 plants per page, and if there are more than 10 plants being provided, you'll be able to click the next page button that will take you to another page of plants that haven't been displayed yet. We currently have 95 plants in our database using SQL that my teammate Robert will explain more about.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Abdi. So we're using a MySQL database to save our plant as well as our user information. We use a data.sql file along with some SQL syntax on it to insert our over 95 catalog plants into every instance of the server startup, just to ensure that we have data persistence across every machine that might decide to run our application. And now my teammate Dawson Black is going to tell us about some integration tests.
Thank you, Robert. In order to ensure that new features weren't interfering with the overall integrity of our application, we incorporated integration testing to test the functionality of the backend framework. Throughout the project, we would run these tests to ensure that they pass, tweaking them as relevant changes were made. This small effort became invaluable as our project expanded and saved us hours of heartache, especially when implementing security features such as user accounts, which we can demonstrate now. To create a user account feature, we decided to use Spring Security to ensure that we were handling sensitive data properly. But of course, before we can log in, we need to make an account. When we click the register link below, we're taken to a register form with several fields to fill out. Required fields are labeled, as you can see, with a red asterisk. There is also data quality control in place to ensure that, for instance, the user's email is in valid format, their password isn't too short, their username doesn't have spaces, etc. These controls are placed at both the front and the back ends to avoid client-side validation bypasses. We also added a reCAPTCHA, as you can see, to make sure that you're not a robot. Once an account has been registered, you'll receive the success message at the top, and we can now go back to the login page. When you submit a login request, the data is sent to the backend where the password is hashed and compared with the associated username's hash in the MySQL database. If it doesn't match, or if the username can't be found, you'll get an error message like the one you see here. Upon successful login, you're brought to the My Profile page, which displays your name and your list of saved plants. Of course, we don't have any because the account is new. There's also a text box for you to enter the ID of the plant you like in order to save it to your profile. And of course, if you want to log out, all you have to do is press this log out button, which will take you back to the login page with a message saying you have successfully logged out. Finally, we created a 404 error page for when the user tries to navigate to a non-existent page. So rather than getting the default white label page, you encounter this custom layout that fits a lot better with the overall theme of the website. And now I will turn it over to Abdi Karim for user submissions.
Thanks, Dawson. So users will have the capability to add new plants via the plant submission page. When in process of adding a plant, the user must fill in every input box to create the plant. The email input should follow the email format, and similarly with the URL and sources, they must be correctly formatted or you won't be able to create the plant. Once you click the Create Plant button, it will save the entered plant details. Additionally, there's a See Created Plants button available that will, when clicked, showcase the list of plants created in the same format as a search page. For our project, we showcased the practical use of RESTful APIs to retrieve data using Git, update existing information using Post, and add new data using Post. We created our own endpoints for our application, whether they were gets, posts, or puts, and they acted like messengers for our data, enabling smooth communication between our client and server side. For example, for us to display plants, we needed to fetch the plants data using Git APIs. Now Simon will explain Helios and how we use it.
Thank you, Abdikarim. So as Abdikarim was saying, APIs serve as messengers between the backend and the application, but Helios takes us a step further. What is Helios? It actually stands for Hypermedia as the engine of the application state. For example, when dealing with many items, Helios helps us navigate through different parts like pages. Notice how the next page and the previous page buttons are sometimes visible and sometimes not, depending on whether one is at the start of the page, the start of the search, or the end of the search. Helios allows the servers to communicate when there's more data rather than having to write jerry-rigged code to the client. Essentially, Helios improves big APIs by links that empower clients. They make APIs more interactive, making users move smoothly between the pages. This means clients can explore resources and actions effortlessly. For example, UIP's data.sql has almost 100 plants in our database. Our application breaks this down and sends in the plants details bits by bit. Helios is like a GPS for APIs, making communication smoother for developers. Helios guarantees dynamism, so it's consistently taking into consideration where you currently are and where you're headed. Without further ado, here's Robert for our final insights.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Simon. So, the Ohio Department of Agriculture's invasive species list just contains scientific names, and then it requires you to go and search that scientific name to even have an inkling of what that plant might look like, let alone if that's one of the plants that you have in your backyard. We just saw a void in the zone of easy to access information about plants in the central Ohio area, and we tailored the Universal and Invasive Plants application to fill that void. Filling it required a good amount of learning from every member of our team, as well as us really learning how to code effectively as a team. But we believe that our product stands as a testament to having learned some of those skills. Some of our next deliverables that we have are to tighten security, continue to catalog plants and add more regions within Ohio, and as well as packaging the app in a easy to run format. Thank you.